Oh, all right. We're back. Another overtime episode number 20. Big number 20. This week, back in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003, the reboot starring Jessica Biel. Which, boy, I'm gonna be honest. What is Jessica Biel famous for? Is she an actress? Is that like her main
She was
thing?
in she was in that show Dawson's Creek or no, what's the other one where it was the preacher dad,
I don't
Seventh
know.
Heaven or something?
Sure. I'm gonna, but going. I knew obviously that this was Jessica Biel and Famous Lady. I I was like, I don't recognize this woman at all. I was like, I have no idea. Yeah, I was like, this just was some lady. Even though I knew it was Jessica Biel, but I was like, I don't know what she's famous for, but she's in it. So, yeah. I'm gonna give this movie a 5. I'm gonna go down the middle on it. Yeah.
I'm going to give this movie
Don't do
a
it.
7. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
I think this is like one of the best ones. I think
Mm.
it's just a rehash, right? It's just a
Eh,
remake of
kinda.
the original, sort of.
Yeah.
But I really liked it, all except for one part.
Yeah.
So
Well, hey, we'll get into that one part with the spoilers. Spoiler warning. Everything's getting ruined. I got on my leather. There he is. A big,
that's I
big,
mean,
chunky boy himself. That's not how he looks in this movie, though. But, but anyway, spoiler warning: Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You've been warned. That's, oh God, that feels good every time I say
I
that.
hate it. I hate it. You
No, it's
love it, and
good.
I'm just like,
It's great. It's great. First off, this is probably the most intimidating Leatherface they've had, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He's super scary looking.
yeah, 100%. Like even I every now and then I'll have dreams where it'll be like Jason or Michael like chasing you or whatever, and then Leatherface pops up and stuff. Anytime I have a Leatherface nightmare, he's never wearing the pretty lady mask or whatever from the first. It's always this guy. This is the Leatherface that I imagine chasing me through my dreams. So, yeah, pretty scary looking motherfucker in this movie.
He was a wrestler, right? Played by a wrestler or something.
No, he's
He
played
was a
by the wrestler is Michael Myers and Rob Zombie.
oh,
Um, his name's Andrew Brzezinski, and he's this big muscle. And there's a he was super into this role. You can look up some behind the scenes stuff where he's like, "I was born to wear the mask. I was born to be leather," and kind of creepy-ish, yeah. And yeah, also I'll throw this in there too, just because I remember seeing this a while ago. Is that him and Gunnar Hansen, the OG Leatherface, had some beef between the two, where when they did Texas Chainsaw 3D, which Gunnar Hansen was in, where they basically rebooted this series again.
again.
Gunnar Hansen behind the scenes was like, "This is Andrew Brzezinski." Slammed the door, and he grabbed the door and he went like that and pulled it real slow, and he was like, "This is how it's supposed to," and he slammed it. And then when Gunnar Hansen died, Andrew Brzezinski just went on Facebook and all he wrote was "boo hoo," and, and so yeah, just some weird stuff there. But yeah, he's a scary Leatherface. So props to props to him. Which yeah, I do kind of miss old Leatherface. You get some of it a little bit, but you don't get his like just like screaming and stuff. Every now and then it'll come out just little bits.
So the weird thing about this Leatherface versus all the other Leatherfaces is in the other Leatherfaces he's more like a child.
Yeah,
This one he's more like an angsty teen, right?
yeah.
Like
You get one shot of him sitting on the floor where he's like doing like
yeah,
what Leatherface usually does, but for the most part, he doesn't have any of those
yeah.
childish qualities. Yeah.
And this is like the first film that actually tells you like why he's the way he is
Yeah.
because he had a skin disorder or something, and people were mean to him. And I'm like, you all got this little like mongoloid child
Uh-huh.
keeping the lumber mill, and y'all are meaner to hell. Stay outside with dogs, you know. Like, I
Yeah,
was like, you're just
poor little
breeding more
Jedediah.
Jebediah.
Yeah. Which,
So like, I don't know.
little fun fact, in the original script, that little kid was supposed to get fucking murked when he tries to bite Leatherface's hand. In the original script, Leatherface was like, "Ah," just saws him in half. And they were like, you know what? Maybe we don't do this.
But
Which,
they should have done. Like, it would have made sense. But like, I understand he's part of the Well, they're not the Sawyers anymore, right?
this one, I think they're
They're
the
the
Hoyts.
Yeah, or something. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Thomas
Well,
Thomas Hoyt? Is that it? Because they say his name. Which I'm gonna. It was So the movie starts like how the OG starts, with the same guy
it
doing the
starts with the
voice.
craziest black and white effect I've ever seen. I really like
Yeah.
it, but I've never. It's like all dot pixely, like a
Yeah,
newspaper or
yeah.
something. And I was like, this is a really cool effect.
Yeah, and it
So
starts with the guy, and always ate the idyllic summer morning or whatever became a nightmare for. And then the movie ends with it going back to that tape of the cops going in the crime scene, and then you just hear like over in the corner like whoa, like it was a really weird sound, and then Leatherface pops out and kills him, and they go like frame by frame, and then you just get a still on Leatherface, and it's like this is the only known photograph of Thomas Hoyt, whatever his name is, and there was something about that I really liked, thinking like if you were watching like a true crime show,
yeah,
because this whole is supposed to be based on, and if there was just this thing, and it was like this is the only known photo of this, maniac or whatever, and I remember just being like, that's really fucking cool. Like if you get into that mind frame of stuff, which is how this movie's supposed to be set up, is like this film is a telling of the. And so I thought that was cool.
let me. Like there's a lack of cannibalism in this movie.
Yeah, very noticeable. They allude to it every now and then. You get Leatherface salting up some stumps and wrapping it
Yeah.
up like a butcher. But yeah, there's not a lot of cannibalism going on.
Well, that's the same thing when you if you tan hides or whatever.
Yeah.
So you salt them down to bring all the moisture out
Uh-huh.
and stuff like that. So even that can be like misconstrued or whatever. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I need to see a pot with a hand in it, right? Like I need to see.
Yeah.
I need to see like there's. I think they know they got rid of it because the legless grandpa. I don't know if it was supposed to be grandpa or what.
Yeah, he's Legolas.
Has one line in there where he's like, "Let's invite him for dinner,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Oh yeah,
Have you seen
cook some ribs."
so the next movie is Texas Chainsaw: The Beginning? Have you seen that one?
There's a bunch of them, so I don't know if I've seen it or not.
Okay.
Is that the?
The same cast is in it.
So no.
All right,
I think
yeah.
the only one after this I've seen is the kid one.
The next one is the prequel, how this whole stuff started with him being the sheriff and everything. And then they show you how that guy loses his legs, and it's very funny. So just look forward to that. I really like how he loses his legs in that movie. But yeah, this is maybe the meanest. Well, I mean, they were mean to the kid, but were they ever mean to each other, if I can remember?
I don't even know if they're really mean to the kid. Like I've had my grandma do that before about y'all
Yeah.
want a rough house, stay outside, type thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, my Matthew McConaughey was just screaming at people. But
Texas 4, they all were pretty mean to each other, yeah. I mean, Matthew McConaughey killed one of them. So.
but everyone else is kind of like a family atmosphere. But I mean, the first one, remember? Look what your brother did to my door.
Why doesn't he, he's chasing after the lady in this movie, and she closes the door. It's just like a swinging front door. It's not locked or anything. He could just very easily just go out. But instead, he's like, and he saws that one. I was like, you don't need to saw at Leatherface.
There's
But
a scene where there's like he chases her through like 6 houses.
yeah,
I have no clue how they have all these houses, but anyways. and they made a point to put bars on the window just so they could have a scene where you could see him out the windows.
Yeah.
And you could be like, why didn't he just go through the window? And they're like, oh, there's bars.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like I said, I really like the fucking cop. I forget his name. Ernest.
R.
something.
Lee Ermine.
Yeah, is amazing in this.
Yeah.
He's so good. I love him.
Yeah.
So.
He has one of my favorite parts, which is the I don't even remember the setup, but it's when he has that guy in the back of his cop car, and hold on, I'm looking. I'll see
I can
the.
tell you it all.
Oh, okay, yeah, and the guy, and he's like, "What were y'all doing down here?" And the guy was like, we were on our way to Dallas, Leonard Skinner concert. He's like, I like Skinner. What are you gonna do with your tickets now? And the guy was like, you could have them. And Harley Ermine was like, is that bribery? Just smashes like a beer bottle or a liquor bottle over the guy's face. And then he was like, that was rude. You know? I was like, what? Yeah, that was pretty good.
The weird part of this movie is those random ladies in the trailer, right? Like,
yeah.
They didn't need to be there.
Yeah. Which, yeah, they had, so, I know who it was, but I kind of blanked out during it. Whose kid was it? The baby.
No one knows. It
was just
a random kid, yeah.
Yeah, alright.
So, like, I don't know.
Because I thought maybe it was the girl the hitchhiker who they pick up who kills herself, but...
Well, see, they had her bleeding from, like, her vagina.
Yeah. And they had her pull a gun out of her vagina.
Yeah, like she had just given birth, maybe. But that kid was like 6 months old.
Yeah, that was an old-looking baby.
So, like, I don't know if it was just they couldn't get a younger baby or whatever.
Yeah, I was like, part of me, the way they were setting it up, thought that hitchhiker lady was part of the family.
If you remember the original, right? They pick up a hitchhiker.
Yeah.
And he's like, I take your photo.
Well, no.
So
yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Well, not yeah. After I remember later on down the line, I thought she was like part of that family, and then had gone away and killed herself. But it might have just been that she was like a victim, like all these people. But the way, because they had the photos of her and stuff too, and so I remember being like, is she like a part of this family, and then she's leaving now? Because then it's like, how did she get? You learned that the gun she used to kill herself, Arlie Ermine or whatever. Yeah, he's like, who had this? And he's like, she had it. He's like, puts it in his ankle holster, and immediately that should have been a red flag. Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. She might have been. I like to believe there's some character depth there, where she's a runaway family member.
I think she was there for a long time. Like, I think the baby is probably someone's. I mean, probably the sheriff's, but...
Yeah.
It's like, I like the old one where they were, like, having Leatherface rape ladies, you know?
Yeah.
Well, which one was that?
It was 3. He makes the sweetest damn kids or whatever, yeah.
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 I was like, oh...
It's like, Vigo, why would you say such a thing?
Yeah, because it was Vigo. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Because he goes just jumping out the window. Anyway.
Yeah. They got this van that they're chilling in. And they got...
I hated the way the van looked. They couldn't have got a less cooler van.
It was a shit... And it had that gas pedal that's shaped like the foot. And I was like, no. No, I hate
Well, they're like, this is the 70s, y'all. And it's like, it's not. That dude's wearing cargo pants. Like, this isn't,
Yeah.
I hated every male actor in this movie, by the way. Well,
I thought the pothead dude was pretty good.
I don't know. Like, oh, by the way, just
okay.
for clarification, if you ever happen into a barn and I'm stuck with a hook in my back and you try to lift me off twice and fail, go ahead and try a couple more times. Do not, in any circumstance, stab me in the stomach, which will kill me instantly somehow.
Oh boy, he's like, just
so we're clear.
Yeah, he's like, kill me, and then she's like, okay, and she just like, just in the stomach, and I was like, what are you doing? And like, yeah, and somehow the guy dies, and I was like, that's not how that works. You could live for fucking hours. The
worst part of that whole scene is they do like a back camera shot of it. And right where they place the camera, there's like a chair. And I'm like, just stand on the chair. What are you doing? Like, there's just a chair sitting there, like, in the shot. And I was
Yeah.
like, she's like having, like, trying to touch the fucking piano or something. I'm like, what are you,
Yeah.
like, why would you not climb up on it? She wasn't even hurt at this point, like, or at all in
Yeah.
the movie.
I don't even know if that's the worst death though, because you get pothead dude who lives through the whole movie somehow after you think he's already dead to come back, and then Leatherface fucking puts him up on a chandelier and he's like handcuffed, and so he's sitting there and Leatherface going over to him and you're like, oh fuck, he's gonna fucking, and he goes and he like aims for his dick and then it cuts away and then it comes and he's dead, and I was like, what? Which, once again, original script, there's supposed to be a lot, there's intestines supposed to be falling out.
Well,
And,
I don't know if you remember. I mean, you watched it today, but the hitchhiker chick, the first one who was with him for 18 hours, whatever.
yeah.
He like hits her back or whatever, and like
Yeah.
feathers fly up, and then he goes up to kill her, and then more feathers are flying
Well,
up. And I'm like,
she's wearing like this puffy jacket, so it's
yeah,
supposed
but
to be.
I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, did he kill her? Like, what is?
Yeah. Which he
'Cause
do.
let's understand.
Yeah.
Like Leatherface is just a horny simp, right? Like all he really wants are these ladies.
Uh-huh.
Like to the extent where he was wearing homegirl's boyfriend's face or whatever, and he just wants to be like accepted or whatnot.
You said that you were laughing at that. I think that was the coolest shot of the movie.
I
Was
laughed so hard.
he
was
turns
like,
around and, also, is it, yeah, you could see a lot of his eyeballs. Like, it was weird how, to the point that I was like, is it the actor wearing his own face? Like, thinking, but yeah, he turns around and he's like, he's like looking at her.
so weird.
And
Yeah.
then it cuts back and feathers it, and then you get like, and you can see his like messed up mouth and stuff. But I thought it was a cool shot. But then he
I
like
laughed so-
he changes
so hard.
back into his normal mask later, and I was like, well, why did you go through the trouble? I mean, which I guess we have seen Leatherface. You know, he has special masks for special occasions. So
Well, I think it's like, I mean, I'm gonna get deep here, and I don't think this movie deserves deepness, but like, I think he put on the mask so he'd be like accepted by the girl,
yeah,
and then she would, scream and ran off. So then he was like, it didn't work,
He's like,
So he
"Oh?"
was like, yeah, he was like, but I had the mask, and then the murderous rage.
He was like,
came
"Wait."
out.
And this still
We
didn't
didn't get
work.
any dancing in this, did we?
No, this was a very serious little Leatherface boy
Well, I mean, she cut his arm off.
with a cleaver. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was a good. Which then it's on the floor and he's trying to stop it, and I was like, oh man, poor Leather.
I just, yeah. And there's the part where he's fighting the pothead guy, who I think he's supposed to be the smart guy, because he had glasses. But he's like fighting him, and he drops the chainsaw to like put him on the chandelier.
Yeah.
And then the lady gets up, and she's like, I'm like, you stepped over the chainsaw to do this. Why not just grab it and fucking...
There's a part where Leatherface, every time he's chasing these people, he's like slashing with his chainsaw and stuff. Then they're on the stairs trying to go up through the thing, and she's right there, right? And Leatherface is like, oh, and then he puts it and like tries to grab her, and I was like, no, why would you?
Well, I think he still has the hots for her at that point.
Maybe.
I think he had until the end. He has the hots for her, but
Yeah.
that's just how
He was like, God damn. He was like, my fucking arm.
But then Jebediah came to save the day.
Yeah. He goes I don't think he bites him. He tries to bite him, and Leatherface is like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what you gonna do with me?
Yeah, he smacks him.
You
up,
know,
which
it was I don't know, like a lot of these movies do a good job of staying within the real estate of that decent country mansion or whatever, right? Like there'll be like 4 different rooms or whatever. This place threw that out the window though. They're
This
like,
was
oh, I
like
think
a-
into the basement.
Yeah.
And then there was like these tunnels and everything
yeah.
and a maze of like shiplap or whatever. I
Yeah.
was like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
So
I have conflicting. So Saw had not been out yet. Okay. And then once Saw came out, there's a boom in just gore. And then everyone's like, we gotta make just gore, and all the. And so there's movies where it's like good, right? And then there's points where it's like, you're just doing this to be gory or whatever, right? This movie, I think, really, because then the next Texas Chainsaw comes out after Saw. So that one's got some gore. And this one, you get, like, arms cut off and stuff. But you don't, like, this movie really could have used some, like the guy when he's, getting his dick chainsawed away. You don't get any of it. Like, it just cuts away. The lady, you don't get any of it. Which maybe you could say they're trying to, like, because the OG, there's hardly any gore. You get a guy hit with a hammer, and every now and then you get some blood. But for the most part, it's just implied what's going on, So maybe they're trying to relive some of that, but I don't know. I think it was just a production company thing where they were like, we can't do this.
Yeah, I think they were trying to make it more for everyone.
Yeah.
So they could make more money in the long run, right? Like, they're like, oh, okay, we're going to have gory stuff, but we're going to dial it back so you can still watch this on Sunday after church. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
Like, they're trying to appeal to more people, whatever. And it's like, just go full,
Yeah.
It's a horror movie.
Well,
And they did, like, the original Chainsaw wasn't that scary, right? I remember in the first one, that scene in the forest at night scared the fuck out of me.
it's pretty, where he's like, I hear something, Sally. It's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great scene.
This one did the other thing where it had like the quick, like the run by guy, right?
Run by, yeah.
One saw him. A couple jump scares, like
none of them. I think
cabinet.
the one that was the most effective was the one at the end where the lady's driving away in the car and she's like, oh, and then he like, sure, and he like Leatherface is there and he swings at her, or he like cuts the side of the car or whatever. I think that was the best done like jump scare. For the most part, a lot of them were just. You had the one of the possum. In the fucking thing, which another fun. There's a bunch of behind the scenes of them like coming in and the possum just being like, what? Just looking at them like, what's going on here? So it took them a lot of shots for the possum to be like, ha. Like,
trying to think. It was. Well, I guess we'll jump into best of worst of.
Best of worst of.
So you can go first because I have no clue what my best of is going to be. I know what my worst of is going to be. But
Okay. Best of. Let's see.
My best stuff is going to be like bad.
Yeah.
So I'll start it off since you're still thinking.
Okay.
So the one part about the movie that I hated, and is going to be my worst of, is when the truck driver picks her up and she acts just like the hitchhiker. I understand why they did it. I know what they were going for. But, like, when she wasn't talking, and she was like, no, you're going the wrong way, and it was, like, just like the other girl.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, okay. I was like, I see what you're doing. But then immediately afterwards, she has the wherewithal to, like, get out of the car, hotwire another car, steal a baby, and all this other shit. So I'm like, how traumatized is she really, But
the way they filmed that was cool, though. Where they keep filming, and they make you think she's hotwiring the truck, and then he opens it up, and she's not there, and he's like, what? And then she's in his cop car, and she runs him over. And then she runs him over again. Good. And then she runs him over again. Yeah. Which, yeah.
It was good stuff. So, like, but I just didn't like I know what they were going for. Like, it was a loop or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But I was like, no thanks. My best part is when the sheriff shows up the first time for the dead body. And he was like, what? I gotta wrap her up. And he like cops a feel and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I have the most sincere respect for the dead. How dare you? Don't put that shit in my back seat. Like, I was like, yes.
Yeah. Well, I like he wants the guy to help him. And he's like, she ain't gonna bite you. She's deader than a goddamn doornail. It's like, oh shit. Yeah, that's pretty good.
He passed away like a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, 3 or 4 or something like that.
So who would you cast to play that now? That obnoxious cop?
I don't know.
Like,
funny enough,
I think
I think like if you were to do the same character in the same text chain, I think you might just cast Bill Moseley.
I don't know. I
I mean,
mean, I like him,
you look at
but
Otis, and it's like, well,
I think his delivery's too deadpan. Like I think fucking what's his name would be better. Fuck me, I can't think of his name. The guy who died, the clown.
oh, Sid Haig.
Yeah, Sid
Yeah, Sid
Haig.
Haig might have been pretty good. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he's played that role a couple times even.
maybe.
But you don't have to limit to horror. You can like pick anybody, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know who I'd pick.
oh goddamn.
Maybe Bill Burr. I don't
Bill Burr.
know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like that's pretty good. But like, I don't know. He has to be someone loud who like, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Not sure.
Maybe a little more country. Yeah.
There's a so they're making this document. This is just a sidetrack thing. They're making a It's gonna be like The Room with fucking what are the Seth Rogen and James Franco or whatever. But it's based off the making of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and so they're gonna make a movie about making that movie, but it's filmed like in a like you know what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. And yeah, and so a lot of people are wanting Bill Moseley to be the dad, mostly because he plays him in Texas Chainsaw 3D. He plays the dad in that movie. And he does it pretty good in Texas 2, where he's like, "Look at your brother," and he starts doing the impersonation. So we'll see if Bill Moseley gets
But he's
put
already
back.
Chop Top.
He's Chop. Well, he's played Chop Top and Drayton Sawyer in 3D. So we'll see if he plays Drayton Sawyer again in Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yo, you gotta get a 3D TV, and we'll come over and we'll do some real 3D
Oh
viewing.
yeah,
Because it kind of loses it when you watch it. Because people are like, they'll have their thing. They'll be like, whoa,
yeah.
like
That's the worst part about watching like Friday 13th Part 3 nowadays. Is like ooh, this is when he gets his hockey mask for the first time and stuff.
Yeah.
But then you watch it and he like shoots a harpoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
We'll have to get a 3D television.
my best of is him smashing the bottle over a dude's face. That was too good not to be.
I like the hammer hit in the beginning too. When the first
That
guy
was a
gets hit by
good.
the
That
hand.
was a good
And
kill.
it was pretty brutal. Even though I like the original one better, but
Yeah, I like the original. It's like pops out in front. And you're like, oh, and he does. This one, it's complete opposite. Where then he like all of a sudden it cuts back and he's standing behind them, and he fucking slams him down.
I think in the original he does multiple hits too, right?
Yeah, because he
Doesn't
doesn't
do two
die
hits?
at first. Yeah, he starts like laying into him or whatever.
And it just lays into the thing where like if you're really good, you do one hit, but sometimes it takes two or three.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Worst of, I guess I'll go with when they cut away from Leatherface, cut man's dick, and just it doesn't show anything. I remember really being like, "What are you doing, guys? Come on." So there you go.
I don't know. I don't like the hippie lady at all in this.
Is that the
The
first Hitchhiker later?
lady.
Yeah.
So, I have another problem.
Oh, okay.
And it's probably I don't know. I'll bring it up anyways. So, a pound of weed is a large amount.
It is a very large amount. Yeah.
Like it's like like big.
Yeah.
So 2 pounds would be double that, which should
Uh-huh.
be even bigger. And they fit it all in this tiny pinata.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
So I was a little confused.
Yeah.
So why did the guy not propose? Like, I don't understand that part of the movie at all.
I don't know.
Like, they showed the ring and everything, and I was like, oh, this makes sense.
Yeah, and the whole movie, he's like trying to get do things she wants to do. Except for they do have a discussion about just dumping the body, which I don't know about you, but I was like, yeah, just dump that shit out. Like, and which even the lady at the store was like, what you do is your business, and then the girls didn't want to, and the guy, I think that's the first time he's like, she's dead, huh? What's the matter, So.
I don't know. Like, that guy I did not like. I was happy when he died. I don't know. Like, the other two guys were just kind of there. I
Yeah.
don't know what's up with dude though. Like the pothead guy or the genius or whatever you want to
Uh-huh.
call him. He's just sitting in the tub. Like what? There was nothing keeping him there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. And if you look on his back, so you assume he's been hooked. But it's like, well, then why did they take you off the hook?
Yeah, I
Which,
don't.
yeah, yeah, there are a couple moments like that. That was like, why? Uh,
I don't know what was up with the random fat lady either.
that lady makes a return in the
Really?
next movie. Yeah, nicknamed the Tea Lady. Oh yeah, that's a problem I had with this movie. She goes in and immediately these people are like acting weird, right? And so then she's like, "Oh, there's a bad man," and the lady starts going, "He's not a bad man. Don't you see his face? He's got all this stuff. Drink this tea." And the lady's like, "I don't want to drink it," and just starts like sucking it down. And then she gets up and she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh, the weird lady's talking about how the guy's not poisoned you or spiked your drink." What a
Yeah,
shock!
the moment they were like, "He's a good kid," I would have been like, "Oh, stab, stab, stab!" I'd be stabbing all of them, like breaking shit. Like
Yeah,
I wouldn't even worry about it because once like someone, I mean, hold on. I was like, I understand a lot of these killers. So, like, I was like, once someone's rationalizing someone's behavior, and I'm like,
yeah.
wait, I do that all the time. But
Like, oh no.
yeah, oh no, I'm the fat lady.
Yeah. Uh,
So, but I don't know. It was just weird. I like the Matthew McConaughey where they go to that realtor lady and
yeah.
like she's in on it. And spoiler, 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 spoiler.
Spoilers. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an Inception spoiler. But so like once you see a Leatherface movie, and especially if you're watching them like this, everyone's a suspect, right?
Yeah.
Like as soon as anything
Everybody's a
happens,
suspect.
as soon as anything happens, you're like, can we trust this guy?
Yeah.
Like that car that pulled up, it didn't stop for her and just drove off.
Uh
I was like, oh, ooh, it's probably best you didn't get
huh.
in that car.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they've set it up that in Texas Chainsaw lore, the only people you can trust are people driving big trucks.
yeah.
Which, yeah, semis, those are the good guys. Oh, look at that! We can put that on a shirt. Um,
Happy go fucky, and then
yeah,
semi guys are nice guys. What we on a? I don't know. I
if
don't know how we'll phrase it.
in a semi, I don't know. We'll figure that out. There's a part where they have this joke in the movie that I don't
Nice
know.
guy in a semi.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the editing or what was weird about it. It was weird. Well, first off, so the lady kills herself. You get a cool shot of the camera panning out like through her head, and so you can see all the people screaming, which that was cool. And then they get out and they start puking and they're screaming and all this shit, right? And I like the one guy's like, I guess that's what seeing someone die is like. And the guy's like, yeah, usually you're not supposed to see that, the other people. But, they're going on and on. And then all of a sudden, it cuts and the hitchhiker lady's like, well, I can tell you one thing. There's no possible way I'm getting back in that van. And then it cuts into them peeling off and everyone's back in the van. And I was like, that joke seemed thrown in there very randomly to me.
There was another scene where right the same scene you're talking about. Everything happened, and then they get out of the car, and everyone's like visibly shaken,
Uh huh.
or the van, sorry. And everyone's like, oh, oh, people throwing up or whatever. And then Jessica Biel like screams, and then the hippie lady's like, hold on. She just like lets loose the
Yeah.
biggest scream yell thing. And I'm
I
like,
turned my
what
shit
is going on?
down. I was like, what?
I was like, oh my god. I was
Yeah.
like, come on. So,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
it was like, oh, but anyways.
yeah. There's that part where the old dude fucking with his legs cut off is like, can you help me up into my chair? And he's like, ass, ass, ass.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
and he like looks at the camera, doesn't he?
I don't
He's like,
know.
I think he does. I think he looks
Yeah.
at the camera.
That part, I've seen this behind the scenes too, where Arlie Ermy is like, show me how she did it. And he like runs the gun over the guy's lips and shit, and then he like puts They did that scene so much, and how they wanted that the guy just started like puking, and there's a bunch of shot scenes of him like putting the gun in there and just vomiting over the gun, and he's like, ah, he's like, yeah. So shout out to that guy. This movie had a budget of $9.5 million. Made a box office of $107 million. So this one did pretty well. This is the beginning of like the reboot era of horror movies. This is like the first one that capped it off, which I think is pretty. What's the word I'm looking for? Because Texas Chainsaw was like the first slasher, and then they're also the first one to be rebooted and like start the whole new thing. Which, yeah, the reboots, most of the reboots do a good job at making the original character scarier. Like Friday the 13th from 2009, Jason Voorhees in that movie, fucking terrifying. He's like running around and shit. And like Michael Myers, we've gone over. That dude's freak of nature in those Rob Zombie movies. Freddy, Freddy, they make him more serious in that remake, but it's not a very good movie. So
I think they add humanity to him, right? They make him seem like more of a person, which is almost scarier.
I know that's the first one. Like forever, it's in Nightmare on Elm Street. It's alluded that, hey, Freddy was raping those kids or whatever. That remake is the first one to go, oh no, he was raping these kids, and like show like stuff.
They don't show.
Well, they don't show the rape, but yeah. But
I was like, good lord.
Yeah. So this remake has pretty good reputation. People think it's pretty good remake. The next one, not so much. Which, funny enough, the next one's the one I like better. Which I don't know what that says about me as a person, but the next one has my favorite ending in a lot of these movies. So,
what's the one with the girl and she's like, "Go get him, cousin"?
That's 3D.
Okay.
3D. I watched when did that? So that came out 2013. Old Tom would have been 12, 13.
No,
12.
8 years ago. Well, that's 8 years ago.
8 years ago. 22 now. I forget
14.
sometimes. So 14. I saw that movie when I was 14. I was like, this movie's really good. And nowadays, whenever I watch it, I'm like, I don't know anymore. So,
hey, this is way off track, but me and Maverick watched The Professional the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to love that movie, and I watched it again, and I was like, this isn't all that. It's good, but it's not like as great as I remember it. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe rewatching some things just kind of make it worse or whatever. But I don't
know. Film critic Roger Ebert. It's been a while since I've brought him.
Man,
up
he
on
hates
the podcast.
everything we love.
He gave this movie a rare 0 stars out of which he likes some weird stuff. I think what's one I remember. Devil's Rejects. He gave that 4 stars out of 4 stars. I remember. He really liked Devil's Rejects. He likes some, like he'll support Last House on the Left. He really liked that. Which shout out my boy Roger Ebert.
He was like, it was a modern masterpiece or something.
So
right?
yeah, he was like, listen, a lot of you are gonna see it, not like it, but he's like, this thing is fucking amazing. And I was like, hell yeah. Yeah, so shout out Roger Ebert. Dead as fuck.
Yeah, he didn't. That was the fat one, right?
No, well, that's the guy who his jaw was missing for the last 10 years of his life.
Yeah, something happened to him, and like half his face deteriorated.
I think it was like cancer, and they had to take off his jaw or whatever. I remember the first time I heard of him was after Ryan Dunn had died, and because he was like, friends, jackasses don't let their friends drink and drive or something like that. And I remember Bam Margera was like super pissed, and he was like, this fuck Roger Ebert, which for growing up, I did not like Roger Ebert. very much because I was like, you leave Bam alone. And nowadays I'm like,
What about now?
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? God, Bam.
Like,
We're pulling for you, Bam.
we are, but you need to fucking change, bro.
He does. I'm gonna be bummed. Like, I hope Bam gets sober, and in a couple years he's like a Steve-O, where you can look back on all this shit and be like, damn, that was pretty crazy. But because this is, I think, supposed to be the last Jackass movie. I know Knoxville said it's gonna be his last, so to kind of blow the after that, it's like, oh yeah, you weren't allowed to be in it just because you were so fucking crazy, you know?
Oh yeah, because you threatened the director's kids and said you were gonna murder them.
And had a restraining order posted against. He keeps calling him Fat Boy every time he posts on it. He's like, sign the papers, Fat Boy.
I don't know if there is a redemption arc for this guy.
I don't know. He had a post when he was first starting going off the deep end, where he started talking about, I'm gonna go gay on you. Welcome to the gayborhood. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, man?
There is some genius there, right? But he's just fucking insane. So
I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. Look through some notes, see if we missed anything. There's that part. Oh, well, I talked about they find that jar of water, maybe. I don't know what it is, where the picture of the people is.
He's in the middle. I thought that was really cool.
But I forgot about the pothead dude when he reaches in. He's like, ah! And then, which also, they're looking for her missing boyfriend, who they have no idea where he is, and he's like pulling pranks right now. And I was like, now's not the time, buddy. Like, which I guess he's supposed to be stoned the whole movie, because they pick up that hitchhiker and she's like, there's bad men, they're all dead. He's like, I'm way too stoned for this, brah. But he doesn't look stoned at all. Like, his eyes are as white as they can get. Like,
they took, like, everyone in the car took 2 drags off of one joint,
Yeah. Man, Jessica Biel in this movie, her voice breaks more than mine does doing these podcasts. She'll just be good, and she'll be like, come over here. And, like, her voice just goes out, like, during a lot of this movie.
I won't stand for you talking bad about Jessica Biel.
I'm doing it.
She's a gift.
Yeah.
You know where you know her from, right?
No.
Blade 3.
I don't know if
She's the girl with the earbuds.
I don't know if I've ever seen Blade 3. Is that the one with Ryan Reynolds in it?
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds is there. And then she's there, and she puts in these earbuds, and it's like right when like the fucking iPod 3 came out or something.
Yeah.
So she like pulls it up on camera, and you like see it, and it's like they should have just named it Blade 3, brought to you by iPod.
Yeah. The show was Seventh Heaven, by the way.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's really good. I am in love with her, but she's married to some like, I don't know, this dude who likes other dudes. Can't think of his name. It's gonna be May.
Rhymes with Dustin or something.
Yeah.
Oh, she was in the. Funny enough, I'm looking through all these movies. The one I probably know her best as is when she was a kid, and she's in a movie with Peter Fonda called Yuli's Gold, which if you've ever seen that. So I know that movie.
She's really. All these other like hit shows she's been in and stuff, but I don't know. She's good. I don't even know if she acts anymore, but
not sure.
I know she's like having kids left, right, and center. She just had another one, like COVID baby. Oh, sorry, you're not allowed to say COVID.
Oh, fuck.
A Movid baby. I don't know what to say other than COVID.
Yeah.
So
it's over now.
So,
we can say it.
Yeah. China caused COVID. Instantly, my fucking signal gets like yeah. Anyways, I was probably still would have censored that. So.
That probably will get cut. Yeah, I remember getting real scared. I'll cut this out too, but there was something we were doing where you dropped you said Chinky or something like that when we were talking about Maverick, And I remember when I was editing Army of the Dead, the last like 10 minutes when we were wrapping up, I just skipped through it and I didn't even like listen to it. I just wrapped up the podcast. And then like a day later, I was like, "Was that in that podcast?" And I went to the end to listen. If it was, it wasn't. So I think it was at the end of what was that movie we did? Snakes on a Plane, maybe, or maybe it was just random.
I don't know. I just since Maverick's Asian, I feel like I can get away with it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, since I'm Asian,
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like edit out my fingers.
There's a
I can say what I
yeah. Anyway,
edit all that out.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, thanks for listening to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Reboot from 2003.
reboot.
What do we got? We got the next one, which is the prequel to this movie. Then we got 3D. I think we only got 3 movies left. And then we got Leatherface, which is the
that's
one where they're the
one.
kids.
Yeah.
Which, yeah. And then I think we're done with, we got our second series down.
Nah, we're about to do for another new one.
Well, I guess we
out.
did that trilogy. Trilogy I wouldn't count as a series, even though it is a series of movies. But, series to me is like these just fucking 6 movies, 7 movie films, which, yeah. So,
I don't know.
hey, while we wrap up, I don't know how many of you, what do you think is the best horror reboot? If you can go through and think of the ones you've seen. Because I have my answer, which honestly, I think mine might be better than the original.
Are you gonna say Carrie?
No. With fucking Chloe Grace Moretz, I hated that movie. Hit Girl, aka Hit Girl.
I haven't seen it, but a lot of people say it's really good. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Halloween's not in the running. This was good, but I love the first one so much.
The first one, yeah, no.
My personal preference doesn't actually like line up with the norm, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Freddy one was meh. I liked it, but that little guy, he was in like a show I used to watch, and so I can't see him. The Freddy or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
He was like in
fucking Rorschach.
Yeah, he was in like a TV show where the guy was like a mercenary spy guy.
Yeah.
And he was in like every episode. He played a very particular role, so it just ruined it for me, you know? It's the same with fucking, what's the Harry Potter kid's name? Daniel Radcliffe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you see him and you're like, Harry Potter!
Yeah.
It's like, he just killed a man, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got guns glued to his hands, and you're like, Harry Potter.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, but then I was thinking Friday the 13th, the reboot, is way better than the original Friday the 13th. That Friday the 13th reboot is better than a lot of those movies.
But the problem is, it's not a reboot, is it? Because it's really, you got to
It's like a reimagining.
Yeah, because you'd have to take that and take it against what? Part 3?
Yeah, he's wearing the sack at the beginning. It doesn't look as good as the sack in 2. But yeah, and then he gets the hockey mask. But yeah, that movie's really good. That might be in my top 3 Friday 13th movies, that reboot. But I think the best reboot, which I don't know if you've ever seen it, me and Bags used to talk about a lot, is The Evil Dead that came out in like 2013. That movie took like the goofy and just was like, what if we just played it serious and just made it like scary? And that movie is fucking amazing. I think it might be better than all 3 of those Evil Dead movies.
But I'm a minority because I don't like. Well, I don't know Bruce Campbell's in it, but I'm not a fan of Bruce.
He's
Campbell.
not in it. Ash isn't in it either. The character. It's just a completely different. I don't remember if Sam Raimi had anything to do with it. I think it was a Mexican dude who directed it.
Is it the same guy who did Planet of Terror?
No, I don't remember.
What's that guy's name? George Rodriguez?
Robert Rodriguez?
Is it Robert?
Is it the same guy who did The Faculty? Robert Rodriguez did The Faculty.
Is that the same guy who did Planet of Terror?
I don't know. I'm going to look it up. Hold on. Well, first we're going to look up the Evil Dead movie. Okay, so this is directed by Fed Alvarez. Fede Alvarez. Okay.
It's Frito.
What? It's
It's Frito.
Fede.
Yeah, it's Frito.
That's Frito? That doesn't make sense. So Robert Rodriguez directed Planet Terror. Yeah, so that's the same guy who did The Faculty. So. But anyway, that Evil Dead remake, real good. We'll check it out one day. I'll probably just pick it as a solo because you don't need to see those other three. Which I used to always say that Evil Dead 2 was the best Evil Dead movie. I think that first one might be the best one now when I look back on it. When I watched Evil Dead 2 a while ago, I was kind of like, like it's still good. I still like it, but I think that first one might be better. Yeah.
I don't know. We need to start a TV show review, and then that way we can do
Ash vs. Evil Dead. Yeah. Those are only like 30-minute episodes. They go by really fast. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if we do it by episode or by season.
I'm not sure. I liked it. It got canceled even though it had an ending, kinda. But it was more of like a cliff. Like, it had an ending to the point that seemed like an ending, but also it was like, ooh, where was this going to go next season? You know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Well, yeah, we'll have to do TV shows at one point. But this is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre podcast. So thanks for listening to this. Eventually, we'll be back with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, the next movie. We still got one more Rob Zombie movie to cover, and then we're done with Rob Zombie until he makes the Munsters. And then,
is that what he's up next?
That's next up on the slate. Yeah. And
is his wife going to be, what's her name?
I would imagine, right? She's in everything else. She has to.
Well, that's Adam's family.
That's Adam's family. I was going to say the same thing because I was going to say Uncle Fester was going to be. I don't know
the
who.
Munsters is his Frankenstein. His hot wife looks just like Morticia.
Mm-hmm.
The little Bat Boy, and then I think the lady looks just like Wednesday. They're really similar, but I can't remember 100%. So,
but yeah, and then we'll start. Yeah, we're gonna have to start something new. Puppet Master 4 is still coming up. And eventually we'll have to do a Puppet Master 4. I can't remember which one is the one where it's just the old stuff, but
that's I think it's 4, and then I think 5 is just fucking Drillhead.
Yeah, they start doing just solo movies.
Like it's him in Nazi Germany or something.
I can't even remember because that one that was just had a weird name. It was like Puppet Master Classic or something. Maybe it was Puppet Master Retro. Maybe that was
that's when it's way back in the day. But it's
Retro Puppet Master 1999. Young Toulon. I don't know. We'll have to see. If we ever pop in the fourth one and then we start it and we're like, oh, this is what it is, we'll just stop it. Well,
Full Circle makes that other one too, where it's it's a bunch of just things coming to life.
You're talking about the modern toys.
Yeah. So I don't know if you're still recording or whatever, but I wanted to watch the scary movie where it was the little goblin in the house who was stealing the kid's soul or whatever. And it was the cat versus a little goblin thing, but I couldn't remember the name of it, and I didn't know how to describe it with words.
Is that the Stephen King one?
I think it might be.
I think
where it was the little.
I think
it's the little goblin that comes out, and it's the cat versus the goblin the whole time.
I think it's Cat's Eye. I know Cat's Eye is I don't know. Now I'm looking up Cat's Eye.
Me too.
Stephen King, cat into a smoker's clinic. This is not Drew Barrymore.
It is. It's Cat's Eye.
James Woods.
Alan King. It's the only name on that list I didn't know.
Anyway, hey, we'll watch.
You know Alan King, by the way.
Yeah.
But this is what I was like, man, I would have watched that. And I was like, it's cool. It's this little gnome with a dagger or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like,
Yeah.
And ironically enough, I suggested we do a Stephen King series of movies, which that would have led me to Cat's Eye. So
we should. Maybe we'll do it where we'll start with the earliest Stephen King movie and just keep going up.
Well, it has to be Shining, right?
Oh, it might be Pet Cemetery.
Christine?
Ooh. I don't know.
Is Carrie a Stephen King?
Yeah. Stephen King movies. Let's see. Fuck. I just looked up Stephen King on accident. I was like, well, he grew up
Or as
in
I like
Maine.
to call him, Stefan King.
Yeah. Just give me... Okay, so first up is Carrie, 1976. And then next
So-
is The Shining.
Apparently, Cat's Eye is 3 different stories in one,
Oh, yeah?
and it just follows the cat.
Oh, yeah. Well, already, because he did Creep Show. So, and he's in
Yeah.
it. He used to be my fucking picture for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know why he changed it.
I don't know, man.
I think we all asked you, please change it.
Oh,
So.
he's got a movie called Graveyard Shift. I forgot. I kept wanting to pick that one week. But anyway, all right. Thanks for listening to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003. We'll be back with something else. Friday coming out, we have Jezebel. Look forward to that. Go check out Snakes on a Plane. Came out last Friday, if you haven't already. That one's filled with profanity and jokes and
Well, they all
snakes.
are, you know?
No. Only that one. That's the only one. All right. We'll see you next time.
See you.
I was gonna think of something clever to end with, but
Oh.
not. Nice guys, semis. I don't